Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB.
Yes, we got it! Woohoo! Free flow bronze. Bronze?
And I decided to watch. Because why not? It's not in theaters. I was able to watch it in the comfort of my own home. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. Part 1. Child of the Sun, or some said bullshit. This is a 2023 movie, and it's not only directed by Zack Snyder, but the story was behind Zack Snyder, which is not something that he always does, right? So he's clearly committed to this movie. He's clearly all about this movie. I think the behind the scenes of how this movie got made might be more interesting than the movie itself. How this was originally a Star Wars script, or it was pitched to Disney to be a Star Wars movie. Disney turned it down, and so Snyder shopped it to Netflix, and Netflix gladly took said script and made said movie. I will say that I respect Zack Snyder for so many reasons. For one, he's been able to make a career where he can pretty much do whatever the fuck he wants. Like, if he can't get a movie made by somebody over there, there's going to be plenty of people who will let him do his shit over there. And for as many people that shit on his movies or don't like his films, just as many love his films. I mean, worship him like a god. So, always has my respect. And I'm somebody that does enjoy some of Zack Snyder's movies. This one, I will say it's okay. Like, if I had to just say a one-word review, it's okay. Visually, cinematography, just putting it on screen, it looks amazing. If we're just going off of visuals, it's a 10 out of 10 movie because of how much care clearly Snyder puts into putting together these shots. Having these images that if you pause it, it looks like it could be one of the most beautiful portraits you've ever seen. That's a common thing with a lot of his movies, and it's still true to this day. I will say that if you took just him as a director and let him do a Star Wars movie, just directing, not writing, it would probably be one of the coolest looking Star Wars movies ever. And so that's one thing. The tone of this film, how dark it is, that is something that I would like to see Star Wars go in that direction. Story is where I think this movie has some issues. Now, it's part 1. I don't know how many parts is this supposed to be. Is it going to be a part 2? Is there going to be a part 3? I don't know. I haven't really been trying to read up on everything that was going into this film because I wanted to be more surprised. I wanted to be more caught off guard given the story and stuff that happened. I didn't want to really read up too much about it beforehand. The cast is decent. You have Sofia Boutella as Cora. She's the main character. She's kind of the head badass who has had a past and she's running away from essentially the Empire, right? Like, yeah, they're not that name, but they are the Empire. And, you know, I like Sofia Boutella. I've seen her in a bunch of things previous to this and always thought that she should start leading some of these action movies. And that's what she does here. Some of the other actors, Mikael Huisman, if I'm saying his name right, Corey Stoll, who was not in this movie nearly as much as he should have been, and Charlie Hunnam, also wasted big time in said film. Jimon Hansu, this guy, I swear, has been in every single movie that's ever existed, ever. And Ed Skrein, who plays one of the lead villains, at least in this film. And he's a decent enough actor, but I always give also kudos to Ed Skrein because When I first saw him in Game of Thrones season 3, and then when he announced that he was leaving that show because he wanted to act in movies and he just wanted to show that he was more than that. Usually, when an actor does that, when they leave a pretty sweet gig on a hit show, I say, dumb, because the chances of you being able to succeed and make it is slim to none. But this guy pops up in so much stuff. He's a decent enough actor, but he plays a great villain. Anthony Hopkins does the voice of this droid who has an interesting backstory that they kind of build up, and then you don't really see much of that droid after. Again, I'm sure a lot of this stuff that I'm missing and I think is lacking will hopefully come back with a vengeance in part 2. I feel like it's hard to judge this movie without talking about where this could go, or if this first part did a good job of making me care about another part to this. I am pseudo interested. I am sort of interested. I'm not chopping at the bit. It wasn't like part 1 ended and I said, oh crap, where's the other part? Right? I'm not itching. But I do think that if both parts came out, or if I had waited to watch this until the other parts were available, maybe I would have jumped right into it, because I think it's an interesting world as far as setup, a lot of flashback and backstory stuff. I need to see where this pays off. You know, I'd love for this to stick the landing, but Snyder, I think, has a 50-50 ratio of success, and we shall see. We shall see. I'm sure this will be a very much debated movie. I almost didn't even want to give a review on this for that said reason. I'm going to be called a hater or somebody who just don't get it. Even though I was a fucking defender of BVS. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Rebel Moon Part 1, Electric Boogaloo, Child of the Sun? Did you like it more than I did, or were you just not really feeling it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.